What is going on, everybody? My name is Caleb Sells. I'm a full-time reseller. I mainly sell men's clothing on eBay and Poshmark, and today we're going to be talking about some very big changes that Poshmark is making to the way that we do shipping, which does affect a little bit of everything on Poshmark. So I'm going to read exactly word for word what Poshmark is saying about this, and then I'm going to give you guys my personal opinion on what that means for us as sellers, whether I think it's good and bad. The truth is most of these changes, there's some good things, some bad things. Let's talk about it. If you have questions and you're here live, drop them in the chat. If you're watching the replay, make sure you drop your comment with your question. I do respond to every single comment on this channel. So yeah, let's jump into it. If you're just now joining, I'm just going to read it word for word. That's what I would want to do because I normally am lazy and just kind of wait for somebody else to kind of digest the information for me, but I'm going to do it with you guys today. We're going to read it. So this is from Poshmark, the Poshmark blog, lower shipping starting September 12th. Well, obviously they're framing this as a very good thing. So let's find out. For the first time in over a decade, we're lowering the cost of shipping starting September 12th. Posh Post drops from $8.27 to $6.49, our lowest rate since 2017. Why are we doing this? USPS recently announced an industry-wide rate increase on priority mail shipping. With input from our sellers and shared goal of keeping shipping accessible, we partnered with USPS to find a better path forward. The result is a new lower shipping rate that benefits both buyers and sellers. What's staying the same? You'll still get the perks of Posh Post, our exclusive shipping system, flat rate shipping on every order, no guessing, no hidden fees, one label for anything up to 5 pounds, ability to use your own packaging, prepaid label, and QR code options. What's actually changing? Orders will ship via USPS Ground Advantage instead of priority mail with delivery in 2 to 5 business days. This means starting September 12th, USPS priority mail packaging can no longer be used to ship Poshmark orders. If used, a $5 USPS fee will apply. However, Poshmark will not pass that fee to the sellers until 30 days after the shipping change is live. Okay, that's something we're going to circle back to. Remind me, we need to circle back to that. If you already use your own packaging, there's nothing you need to change. If you've been using priority mail materials, simply switch to any standard box or mailer. To make this transition easier, Poshmark sellers will have exclusive access to USPS Ground Advantage boxes. I'm going to open this in a new tab and we're going to go check that out as well. Just going to make some notes as we go along. Due to the contract process, we unfortunately weren't cleared to announce this update until today. With the timeline being shorter than usual, we hope you share in our excitement about this price reduction. This is one of our biggest updates yet and meaningful shift toward bringing more shoppers to your closets, leading to stronger sales. Together, we're not just selling fashion, we're building its future. It's a little bold, but okay. The future of fashion, sure. Frequently asked questions. How can I get free USPS Ground Advantage shipping supplies? Poshmark has partnered with USPS to provide complimentary Ground Advantage shipping supplies exclusively for Poshmark sellers. Packaging options include a variety of poly mailers, padded mailers, boxes. To order packaging supplies, please call that number. Please note you will need to provide your closet name to USPS to confirm you are a Poshmark seller. Rest assured, USPS is prepared for this transition and ready to support requests from our community. I hope that's true. What do I do with my existing priority mail shipping supplies? If you have priority mail packaging left over after the transition to Ground Advantage, you can return full priority mail packs of 10 or 25 directly to your local post office. Any residual priority mail packaging can be used for future non-Poshmark priority mail shipments or recycled. Are there any changes to what I can ship? No. We'll just skip it and move on. If they say no, we'll just assume no. Does Poshmark offer other types of shipping options? No, we will only offer USPS Ground Advantage shipping, which takes typically 2 to 5 business days. If my item is 5 pounds, over 5 pounds, what is the cost to upgrade my label? If your order exceeds 5 pound limit, you will need to upgrade your shipping label. Upgrade fees will vary based on the total weight of your package. Check our support center. Okay, I'm curious what the upcharges are going to be because the priority mail upcharges were crazy. It was like $22 for 2 more pounds than the 5 or 5 more. I don't know. It was crazy. Seemed like a lot. Is insurance included with ground advantage shipping? Yes, it normally is, and they're saying yes, it is with Posh Post. Will I still need a signature confirmation for luxury items over $500? Yes. I never sell luxury items over $500, so it doesn't really apply to me. But they're saying yes, you still need to do signature confirmation. Okay, that's everything that they put. Let's go check out these other things. Tempting Treasures. I'm glad you think it's good, especially if for the charges up to 6 to 10 pounds go down. Don't know about that yet. Still haven't updated their site with that info. Still has old numbers until the 12th. Okay, so I guess I'm not going to get a clear answer on that yet today, but I agree. The up charges for over 5 pounds on priority mail are bonkers. Go Hustle. What's up, my man? All right, what kind of box can I use to ship out my order? Effective 9/12 shipping via USPS Ground Advantage means priority mail packages will not be allowed to ship Poshmark orders. If used, a $5 USPS fee will apply. However, Poshmark will not pass on that fee to sellers until 30 days after the shipping change is live. Okay, so that's the first thing I want to touch on. This is not a good or bad. This is just going to be informative for right now. I'm not giving my opinion. But what that means is you can still use priority mail packaging until 30 days after the shipping change is live. So 30 days from 9/12, it's a $5 fee, but Poshmark is saying they're going to pay that $5 fee, is what I'm gathering from that. I could be wrong. That's what I'm gathering there. I would recommend not doing it because it just seems like a little bit of an unnecessary gamble. If you were to get that $5 fee, I'm probably just going to switch, especially if I can get those free ground advantage materials ASAP. But maybe if you get them ordered now and you can get them in like a week, maybe for the next week, you use the priority mail. I don't know. Maybe that's a realistic thought process there for the next, week or so. Let's see if the rest of this matters to us. Maximum combined length and girth of the box must be no greater than 108 inches. That means the combined measurement of the longest side and the distance around the thickest part of the box cannot be more than 108 inches. Poshmark uses USPS Ground Advantage for all orders. Orders can be shipped using boxes labeled Ground Advantage. Any other USPS boxes, including Express, Priority Mail, are not allowed for any orders, may cause delays in shippings and receiving your earnings. This means starting September 12th, USPS Priority Mail packaging can no longer be used to ship Poshmark orders. If used, a $5 USPS fee will apply. However, Poshmark will not pass that fee onto the sellers until 30 days after the shipping change is live. Standard brown boxes and padded envelopes that you have around the house can also be used. Be sure to remove or cover up any previous labels. Okay. Sounds good. Looks like these are the ground advantage suppliers we're going to be getting. Honestly, pretty cool if we can actually get those. I've heard people call in and they're not able to get it. So we'll see about calling in to get those. But if we can get those, that would be really sweet. How to get an overweight label. Let's see if it has. Are these the. No, these are the priority mail updated amounts. So if you go over, this is what you pay. So if you go over 1 pound, you pay $4.50. If you go over 2 pounds, you pay $9. Now that's on top of the label that the buyer already paid for. That's why I think this is crazy. If you go over 3 pounds, so 8 pounds, I mean, a heavy pair of boots could definitely weigh 8 pounds. You're paying $13.50 on top of what the buyer already paid. Like the difference from a 5 pound weight to an 8 pound weight is never going to be $13.50. That's why I don't think that those numbers really make sense with the priority. So I'm hoping that these go down when we get to the USPS Ground Advantage on Poshmark. So was there anything else that we needed to come back to? Yeah, that $5 fee. We were going to come back to that. and getting the free Ground Advantage supplies. So I've heard people calling in, they don't know what they're talking about, and have not been able to order the USPS Ground Advantage supplies. If that gets resolved and people were able to order those, I think that is actually a cool thing, because we'll be able to use those free supplies same as before. That was one thing I really appreciated about Poshmark. Like, say, I'm way more likely to accept offers on shoes on Poshmark because I hate finding a regular box to ship Ground Advantage on eBay or Pirate Ship. So using a Ground Advantage box would still kind of fit that, check that box for me, where it's just convenient to just throw it in a box that's free. I already know exactly where it is, exactly what box it's going to go into, and it saves me time because I'm trying to save time on here. Hey, Millennial Profit in the house. I don't sell on Posh, just here for Caleb. Hey, I appreciate you, my guy. All right, so what is my actual opinion on this? I hope reading it straight through makes it pretty clear what the actual changes are. I would say the biggest change is you're not going to be able to use the priority mail shipping supplies. If we can get the free Ground Advantage supplies, that cancels out. So there's really no difference there. I would say if we can't get the free Ground Advantage supplies, that is a disadvantage, because I love using the free priority mail supplies. It saves a lot of time because I know what the options are, what the box sizes are. So when I'm trying to find a box, I'm not digging through boxes trying to find the right one. I just go directly to the one I know that it's going to fit, and it fits perfectly. I mean, the USPS priority mail shoebox is like the perfect size for shoes and for other things. It's very, very convenient to have that. So if we can get those Ground Advantage boxes, I will definitely be happy about that. As far as them lowering the price for the buyers, I really don't see any downsides for lowering the price to the buyer. I will say here's what is going to change is Poshmark does pay out once the buyer confirms receiving the item, or it's been delivered for 3 business days, or 3 calendar days, maybe. I don't know. So with Ground Advantage, it is going to ship a little bit slower. So you are going to get paid out slower. That's going to be one downside to switching to Ground Advantage. Another downside is the buyers on Poshmark are going to be used to having priority shipping. Say you live in Ohio and they're in California, priority mail shipping, it's saying max 3 days. I don't know how often it actually does that. I honestly don't purchase a ton of stuff that gets shipped via USPS. Most things I'm ordering are online arbitrage. They get shipped UPS and FedEx because they have big commercial accounts. Will it take longer to get from Ohio to California doing Ground Advantage versus priority? Probably. It probably will take longer. And so that means that the buyers could get annoying in the DMs, in the messages. It's just the truth. You know, just if something takes an extra day, you're going to start to hear about it. But at the end of the day, my biggest complaint with Poshmark is if I'm selling something that's under £1, I cannot be competitive with the price when they have to pay $8.27 in shipping. I cannot be competitive with that price. Somebody should not buy it on Poshmark. They should go buy it somewhere else, because that's just $8.27 for a t-shirt to ship is just too much. So I do like that they're addressing that issue, and giving a more competitive price for the buyer, because at the end of the day, buyers want the best deal possible. That's why they're shopping secondhand. That's why they're on Poshmark in the first place. They want a deal. So yeah, that's great. That's great. I think this is overall really good if we can get the free supplies. If we can't get the free supplies, it's still better for sales. But for me personally, the thing that I appreciate about Poshmark is that the shipping is so straightforward and so fast. And I will even accept lower offers on Poshmark to have the ease of shipping and just throwing it in a box that I know where the size is. I know what it costs to ship. I'm not having an extra headache. Or like going to California from Ohio doesn't cost me any extra. So I don't have to worry about the location. Like on heavier items, sometimes when somebody's sending me an offer on eBay, I look and see, hey, it says California. I'm going to counter that offer instead of accept it, because it's going to cost me $10 more to ship that to California than it would to ship it for me in Ohio to Indiana or Pittsburgh or something, even New York. So those are my first initial pros and cons. Let's jump into the chat, see what you guys are saying. I'm here to answer any questions you guys have about the Poshmark stuff. Once we get through the Poshmark stuff, hey, ask other questions. We can get after it. Plus on Posh, it's rarely getting returned. Yes, that's a huge benefit on Poshmark. I think I've had one return in 5 years on Poshmark that actually got accepted that was not my fault. Now, I've made mistakes and had somebody return something that wasn't as expected, maybe 3 or 4 times over the last 5 years. But one that Poshmark didn't side with me when I do think that I was in the right and the buyer was in the wrong. Only one time ever. Mason says he lies. He loves Posh. Wes, how's it going, Wes? I never list anything on Posh over £5. If the price upcharge isn't that bad, I might start. Exactly. Priority never seemed much faster on Posh for me anyways, but I'm up in Washington State. Yeah, I do notice a difference going across the country, but I don't really notice a difference in the same region of the country. So I don't really feel like Ground Advantage is that slow, to be honest. Shoe boxes. Yeah, I hope let's see. Does it say what size these Ground Advantage boxes are that we can get? Let me see if I can pull this up. So this looks kind of like a shoe box. Let me zoom in. Oh, I'm zooming in on the wrong thing. Can we zoom in on that? So this is padded shipping envelope, shipping envelope. So this is probably going to be like the Tyvek mailer that is not padded. These are going to be the padded envelopes. This looks exactly like the shoebox, and this looks like the number 7, 12 by 12 by 8. If we have those 4 options, I'll be happy as a clam, because those are the ones I use all the time. That'd be amazing. I like Posh, much less return rate, no returns for fit as I put pictures and measurements in all listings. I agree. That is a huge bonus on Poshmark. I have a lot of customers in California, and it takes 5 to 7 days to get from Cali to Ohio, so they may lose some people there. Yeah, you will get some people complaining if it takes 7 days to get delivered to them, especially because they have up to a 3-day handling policy on Poshmark. So if you use that 3 days, like I only ship Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So if somebody orders something on Friday right after I ship, I don't ship that until Monday. It could get delivered like 10 days after when they order. I'm going to get some messages if it's taken 10 days to get delivered. I guarantee that. I used to use flat rate envelopes for jeans, suits, etc. on eBay. Went up $2, so I switched to ground there too. Didn't notice much difference. Yep, agreed. I get notifications from Posh all the time letting me know the item I shipped is going to take longer. Yeah, well, that's on USPS. I think USPS, like in general, doing more ground instead of priority. Like I don't know how many Poshmark packages we're shipping daily, but I would say I would have to guess thousands, right? Because I'm like, when I would ship, I would be shipping like 10 Poshmark orders, and I'm just one seller on there. So thousands of packages. If we get more to doing those Ground Advantage, hopefully, they get their act together with the Ground Advantage. I don't really know what the difference is with priority and Ground Advantage, like how it's handled. I know that priority mail goes in the air if it goes a long way, and Ground Advantage goes on the ground. So that's going to be slower. But maybe it'll result in less packages being lost. I don't know. Maybe they lose it in the airplane. I don't know. It did feel like I was losing a lot of packages on Poshmark. Looks like a rebrand priority stuff. Yeah, if they just take the exact same priority materials and rebrand it Ground Advantage, I'm chill with that. Miss Lachey in the house. What's going on? I think that covers the Poshmark stuff. If you guys have other questions, reselling questions, drop it in the chat. If you're watching the replay, let me know your thoughts on these Poshmark changes. I think it's a really good thing. I give it an A+ if we get the free ground advantage supplies. I give it a B if we don't get the ground advantage supplies. I already ship a ton of stuff ground advantage and use my own supplies, so I'm not really going to be that upset about it. But I will say, like, the shoebox is clutch when it comes to Poshmark for sure. You're right about the under 1 pound current charge. That new fee will make it more feasible. I 100% agree. Ground advantage is put on planes also. Okay, Tom. I don't really know the inner workings of that. I guess I just assumed ground advantage would be on the ground because they put ground in the name. I don't. Seems a little counterintuitive for them to not keep that straight, but hey, however they got to do it to get it from point A to point B. I've been having a lot of packages take a long time, actually with my Whatnot orders as well, which is also a lot of priority mail in for Whatnot. I've been shipping a lot of priority mail with Whatnot, and people like will just randomly get their order like 5 days instead of the 3 days. So I'm guessing that's just going to be a USPS thing. Like, have they ever been like extremely on the ball 100% of the time? Like, there's always going to be little ups and downs with their service. So, all right, I'll give it another second here for any questions to pop in if you guys want to keep hanging out. If not, I'm going to shut it down here. Yeah, Poshmark, big change, good change in my opinion. Either way, A+ if we get the ground advantage shipping supplies. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more and see if I can see like what it says on the dimensions on these boxes. I can't read it. Tempting Treasures, thank you so much. You have a fabulous day. Killishaw in the house. Any updates on the D-list policy? Okay, here's my thoughts on the D-list policy. I got suspended. My listing privilege is suspended, I think 4 times from delisting items that sold, which is not against their policy. So I would say an incorrect suspension of my listing privileges. Every time I've explained them the policy, why I'm delisting, and they have reinstated me, it does take like a day or two. So that's very annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Eventually I got sick of it, so I just stopped delisting on Poshmark. That was a bigger mistake because I was canceling orders like crazy. I don't know what it was, like something about the items selling on eBay would make it sell on Poshmark. I was canceling 2-3 orders almost every single day minimum. I turned delist back on and delisted everything that had sold for that month. I had it off. I got suspended again, did the same old song and dance, messaging, getting my account back, blah, 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 blah. And what I'm doing now is just I'm still delisting. I use Nifty to automatically delist my sales on eBay. When it sells on eBay, automatically delists on Poshmark and vice versa. And I'm just going to deal with it. If they want to keep suspending my listings and then me telling them that it's not against policy and reinstating me, I'm just going to keep doing that because that's what seems to be working best and requires with less canceled sales. It's better for the customer if I'm not canceling sales. Yeah. So that's the update. It's still probably happening. It hasn't happened to me in like 3 weeks. So hopefully we're onto something here, but I don't know. Tom says, I have shipped batteries. Ground advantage has to be marked hazard. It doesn't go so that it doesn't go on planes. Okay. Interesting. Jim Harden, I think as busy as the holiday seasons are, this may cause way longer times, but we will see. The longer payouts will be annoying, but it's just the way it is. Yep. I agree. It is going to make the payouts longer, and the holiday season is always rough with USPS. So I don't think this really helps or hurts that though, because whether they're dealing with a whole bunch of priority mail packages or a whole bunch of ground advantage packages, they're going to get behind with the holiday season. They're going to lose stuff. One nice thing with ground advantage is the buyers pay less, but you get the same $100 insurance, whether it's ground advantage or priority. So you can still get your insurance money, like especially if you're shipping on eBay or pirate ship or whatever else, you can still file that claim if they lose it. And in the holiday season, they paid out every single claim that I submitted for losing packages, which was a lot. Nope problem. Mark my words. This is all happening so they can justify a higher selling fee. My Poshmark sells about half what I make on eBay. Wondering how this will help or hurt. Hey, if you're just now joining, I went through my entire thought process on the whole thing. I think this will help because buyers are going to get a better deal. I don't know if they could just call this justifying higher selling fees. I think that they already have established themselves in the market enough at their current selling fees, which is high. But think about it this way. A lot of people promote on eBay. I promote at 5%. So my eBay fees average to be about 15 to 16% because a little bit more than half of my sales sell via promoted. So if you look at it 15 or 16% versus 20%, it's not as much bigger. And you do get the free shipping supplies, which now, I mean, I haven't looked into this, but like, is there anything stopping me from using these ground advantage supplies, shipping other platforms ground advantage? I don't know what that's going to be. A gray area that we're going to have to figure out. Because if I can ship ground advantage in there, I'm be shipping a lot of ground advantage in there. But I don't know. They're making it seem like it's only for Poshmark, but I don't see any Poshmark branding on these things. So I don't know. It's like Poshmark does as much as they can to try to decrease profits. Well, they're not making any money on the shipping. They're just trying to negotiate the shipping rate. So this is an effort to increase profits because they're thinking if we can give a better deal on shipping, more people will buy. More sales is more fee revenue. More fee revenue is more profit in our pocket. This is the first decent change. Okay, yeah, I agree. First decent change. Wow, I have the same cancellation problem. I have all the sold eBay items under label 1 on Nifty. So if I delist that whole category on label 1, I'll probably get suspended. Yeah, that was kind of my thought. I'm just going to do it all at one time, take the suspension, get my account back, and then go back to business as usual. Why you talking too much? I'm 22 years old. Okay. Well, good news for you. I am going to stop talking because I'm going to end this video. Really quick, if you are interested in cross-listing from eBay to Poshmark, you don't sell on Poshmark, I use nifty.ai. That's the software that I use. You can do a free trial and a discount with the code Caleb Sells or the link down in the description below. Once again, I think this is a good change for Poshmark, but we'll have to see how it plays out. All right, we'll talk to you guys soon. Peace out. See you guys in the next one.